Start. Somebody's on. Hey everybody, it's Pajama Life with our year-end review of the 6888 and Dune Prophecy. Let's get started.
Soldiers, I am Captain Charity Adams. Welcome to the Women's Army Corps. Soldiers, we have been ordered to provide hope. Forward march! You must be perfect. You do not have the luxury to be good. You have the burden to be better. Ladies, I need women who've had to fight to survive.
Adams, you and the 6888 Battalion are headed to Europe.
Postal Battalion?
They think the only thing we good for is deliver some damn mail.
Would you like to see all the hangars, ma'am?
How many are there?
All of them.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Hey everybody, it's our final show of 2024, and with me are these two guys, which I couldn't do it without him. David, say hey to the people. David? Okay, Patrick, say hey to the people.
Hey everybody, I can hear you. So yes, happy New Year's, happy whatever you're celebrating now. So glad to be here. Can't wait to talk about what I've seen and what I haven't seen, and well, it'll be great.
All right, David, can you hear us now? Uh-oh. Heard a little music. Okay, we'll come back to David as soon as he can hear us. And I'll talk about the 6888. What a way to end the year with this wonderful, wonderful movie by Tyler Perry. And it begs the question, though, of why isn't Tyler Perry making this movie more often? I mean, the skill, the story is amazing. It's about, if you don't know, this battalion of Black female women army soldiers in World War II who were tasked to clear the mail, and it was in, I think it was 17 million pieces of mail, and they were given 90 days to clear it. So, you know, your great grandma and your grandma were out there doing something incredible. And make sure, if you haven't seen it, also read about the 6888 and their contributions. It might not, like they said, it might not seem like a lot to do mail, but imagine being a soldier and not receiving any letters or any communication from home. That would be, you know, devastating. And for families back home to receive any kind of word from their soldiers, and they were able to do something absolutely incredible under extremely racist and sexist conditions. They were able to do the impossible. And the acting, Kerry Washington, this is something completely different for her. And boy, I want to see more of this from her too. And as well as Ebony Obsidian, which is a wild name, but as Lena Delacourt, the main character, is amazing. So I'm hoping that we get to see more of these actresses in different types of roles, but more importantly, Tyler Perry now needs to quit doing that junk stuff he's doing and focus on this level of cinema that he's capable of. David, what did you think?
I had no idea about this story until, was last week before Christmas. Happy Life Day, everybody. Great to be with you tonight.
Happy Life Day, everyone.
This was wonderfully done. I think, there's different pieces of history that need to be told. And I think as historians focus on, you've got the battles and the very large personalities, and those can't be ignored. The everyday stories and struggles of individuals are critical. Mm-hmm. This story of this battalion, the 688, is really remarkable in some ways, based on, very much a true story. They had 6 months. They got it done in 90 days. No one before them could do it. I think that's an incredible
17 million pieces of mail. 17 million. Think about that number.
Well, and the little levels, the different things when you watch this, the experiences that different individuals in the battalion brought to this. Mm-hmm. Someone was a clothing expert. Folks had noticed the logos, the outlines of the division ranks, the colors of the team, of the units that were kind of put on the postmarks. It gives people try to give a little bit of a code to let people know where they were. That was amazing. Great acting performances, powerful, really, by just about everybody in this. Couple things that I thought were really important. Again, historically true. You had two of the women there were killed by an unexploded bomb, and that they were not going to be buried by the United States in Europe. It's not surprising based on that time and the way the segregated forces were treated, but nonetheless, a really powerful, embarrassing gulp moment when you kind of put that into context. That was great that was listed. But knockout performances by Kerry Washington, the entire cast. I thought it was really beautifully done. Susan Sarandon in a limited role.
Gosh, yes.
And Eleanor Roosevelt really brought so much to that character, to that historical person. Great movie. Really something I didn't know about, but so glad I watched it, and I hope people take a moment and watch this. If you love history, you'll love this. If you love big action pieces, maybe not, but the individual struggles of these folks, they mattered, and they mattered across the board. As you said so well, not only the soldiers in the front lines, but also on the home front that was producing and working round the clock. This, for the armaments of democracy, the arsenal of democracy. I think that's the FDR quote. So great movie. Everybody should take a moment and watch this. And Tyler Perry did a superb job in crafting this story, a true to life tale. So bravo.
Yeah, bravo to Tyler Perry. But the bar set high. Stop making crap. All right. Next up is we have the finale this week, and man, it did not disappoint. Let's check out Dune Prophecy.
The great houses vie for power. This throne must not fall.
You must first exert power over yourself.
There is something that we are not seeing that is countering our every move.
Open your eyes, Your Majesty. What does that witch have you so blind you can't see the truth?
We're the same. Even though I had two wolves, one to feed.
Never trust Harkonnen.
My counsel will not be ignored. The Sisterhood will have nowhere to hide.
If the shadows are where they want to fight, then that is where I shall go.
The Sisterhood had lost its way. You lied to me all this time.
So amazing. Pat, did you have a chance to look at Dune Prophecy?
I did. Yeah.
Oh no! And not the
It
most
feels
flattering. Okay, there we go. Oh, now we
okay.
can't hear
And
you. Oh,
okay, okay. Can you hear me now?
yeah, we can
Yep.
hear you, but
Okay.
you're frozen.
Okay. Cool. But it tends to be very. It feels like they've transplanted a lot of Game of Thrones into this, and there's things I'm looking for as a fan of the books that I'm not seeing yet. But I mean, it's been good. I love the world building. I think they did a good job of tagging on to the Dennis Villeneuve aesthetic, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
where they really made some really good visuals, the look of everything. And like I said, I'm not expecting big things, but at the same time, it feels familiar but unfamiliar, I guess. So I'm not down on it, but I'm not stoked about it either. So somewhere in between, 5 out of 10, not bad, but not great.
5 out of 10? You're crazy. This was like 9 out of 10 for me. I loved it. It was so interesting. And it's such a new thing to delve into, is a secret society of women who are like trying to steer the course of history in a covert way. And every episode, I just didn't feel there were any kind of misses in the episode, because I was looking at how are they going to maneuver this situation to their benefit. And as in the movie, I think the Mother Superior said, oh, we don't guess, we plan. And so now you see the building blocks of that planning, and the reveal, the last episode, the reveals that came out, and the surprises that came out, just was like, oh my God, Mark Strong. I'm not going to say what happened, although that was Sunday. Your butt should have watched it by now. That's my secret boyfriend. I love him. But it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. I think it's going to be so fascinating. One thing I'm still hoping for is that they aren't trying to have some patriarchal kind of thing happen to where the women are, like mistreated or whatever. Because I was really hoping for a kind of feminist viewpoint in this world, even though those two sisters are like some cold-blooded couple of snakes, man. They are something else, and they're so bad. I'm just like, where are they gonna go next with it? I'm so excited about it, and I'm just hoping it keeps that intensity that it has. David, what'd you think?
I think I'm enjoying this very much. I do wish we'd had an episode 2 or more of these.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
I think that would have helped. Again, I enjoyed this thoroughly. Not as I've read Dune. I read the first Dune. I have not read the son's work. I haven't read some of the additional pieces beyond the first Frank Herbert book. But I really enjoyed this. The Game of Thrones piece kind of works for me in that. In fact, I think as someone who really enjoyed the original Game of Thrones, that first show, I was really kind of wanting to see that kind of in the space world. So I'm enjoying this a lot. I think Pat said 5, you had 9. I'll probably go like a 7, 8 in there, in the middle, bridging the two of you in this case. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. The fact that it hinges so much on a character that is a brand new contrivance, and I think that maybe is not the best word. I think he's a great character. He's a fun character, but something that was not part of the canon or the mythos is driving this.
Yeah.
So from a purist standpoint, it's like, is this even really Dune? There's a valid argument there to someone saying, all right, we're in a whole new direction, and let's just kind of see where it goes. I could see that point of view as well. But I'm enjoying this. Let's keep seeing that has been renewed. Dune Prophecy will be coming back for a season 2, which I think is a good thing. More episodes. Let's kind of get this out and just kind of really allow this story to breathe and see what it's going to be. For right now, the characters, though, if I'm going to do a comparison of Game of Thrones, the world building is there more so than the depth of the individual characters. The costuming is good for me. The costuming is good, but let's see where it goes.
Set design is incredible. When you see those how they design the buildings and the palace and the inch, I wish it was a little sharper, but the production design is incredible here.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah. And well, a little bit of a mixed review, but 2 of us love it, so it wins. So definitely check out Dune Prophecy, and I'm gonna have to binge it all so I can watch it as one show, just to see how the arc looks in one sitting. So definitely check that out on Max. Okay, so it is the end of the year. We always do our best and worst. And this year is no different. So let's start off with the best series or TV show this year. David, what do you think?
Well, I tell you, I think for me, in many ways, this would be the year of Star Trek. And so I'm going to go with Strange New Worlds.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Strange New Worlds. We saw this show do a couple of things. It bridged 2 genres we've never seen Star Trek really do. It bridged a musical, which I think was divisive for some, but I thought was kind of an entertaining a little nod there to a Buffy episode for Buffy the Vampire Slayer that was really funny. But it also merged an animated show and brought those characters into the real world. It showed it took a comedy cartoon and put it into the normal show, and it really brought another level of creativity and wit and intelligence. Cannot wait to see the show again this coming. I guess it's going to be out there in just a little while. So for me, Star Trek, the best.
Okay, Pat, what do you think has been the best TV show series this year?
Well, to piggyback on Dave just a little bit, that Lower Decks, the animated show, they ended that. This is the end of it after 5 seasons, but they are taking Ensign Mariner and they're looking at making her into a live action character and doing her own show about the Lower Deck type area. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, that was not what I was going to pick, but that is a great choice, by the way. I've been re-binging Star Trek again because it's just so good. All of it is. But I really liked Somebody Somewhere, the HBO series. That was so real, and I mean, it did such a great job of breaking down so many different kinds of unwritten rules in Hollywood. Not everybody was pretty, not everybody was skinny, there were very few people that they looked like people that you might really run into, and the storylines were great. They overcame some really big obstacles over the past, the 3 seasons they were in. This last season, they one of the main characters died, and they found a way to ride around that. And I mean, it was impressive. And man, there was just so many standout performances in that, just being very real, and that whole sisterly bond thing. I've seen my wife and her sister have, similar kinds of, love-hate relationships, and everybody but it always ends up being love, but at the same time, for anybody who has family, that's, family's complicated. And it was just a great way of showing that, and with real people. I thought it felt much more real than anything. And I am a big, don't get me wrong, I love the fantasy. I love Star Trek. I love Game of Thrones, all this stuff. I am, chest deep in that stuff, but it is really a wonderful, refreshing, breath of fresh air when I watched this show. I mean, it was great. My wife was the one who discovered it, turned me onto it, and there's a lot of big buzz about it being, a contender for Emmys this year because it was really that good. So I loved it.
I cannot believe you are both so wrong to not pick House of the Dragon. Are you kidding me? House of the Dragon was so amazing. Oh my gosh. How they came back the second season to have even more interesting stories and the deaths and the fights and the intrigue. It was just like, oh my God, when the dragon chased down the dude to make him his rider, that was like a comedic but like touching kind of moment. And then the death of Rhaenys, oh, that was just like heartbreaking. And just to see all the comeuppance and then the build up, oh, come on. That was like super bad. That was like the best of the year. It was. But okay, you guys, it's okay if you don't like what I like, but it is amazing. All right. What has been, let's say, theatrical release? What's been the best theatrical release you've seen this year? I'll start. I really enjoy going to the theater and seeing Dune Part 2. I mean, my head just exploded with how beautiful it was and the new things they were doing and how they pulled it together. And the intrigue was there, which led to this wonderful series itself. It was just something great to go to the movies and see. I mean, the black and white scene, come on now. That was just so beautiful and amazing. Pat, you go to the movies every week, so you got a lot to pull from.
I do. Me and a friend were talking about this movie recently at my job, and I really liked The Heretic. It's something fairly recent. It wasn't it wasn't a monster movie, but man, it had some really good analogies that I loved. I mean, comparisons, and it was done in such a way that, and Hugh Grant playing against type was properly menacing. I'm just going to say that, but not because he's not physically intimidating, but the menace that he started spewing after he got the, oh, I'm a nice guy, come on in, thing, then you got that real crazy thing, just quiet, low level. And it was, man, impressive. And, and Topher Grace with his little momentary cameo that was ridiculous. But the two girls in it, the two missionaries that came in to talk to the guy, super good. Oh my God, it was really good. Like I said, really played against type, and I really enjoyed that. I do enjoy a good suspense much more than a good slasher movie, and this one had a little bit of slasherness to it, but the suspense level was off the charts. So good, and like I said, playing against type, perfect. No notes.
Okay. All right, David, your favorite theatrical release?
That's a good question. I was trying to go through some of the list of films. Dune 2 certainly was one that I could not wait to see. So from an anticipation standpoint, man, I was pumped on that. We could do an entire show, or maybe not, on the popcorn topper that Dune 2 produced. Maybe we won't go there. It would, but Dune 2 wasn't as good as Dune 1, so I'm not sure that I can say but it was really high on my list. Another one that just barely beats the 2024 window was one I saw yesterday, Nosferatu. That was
okay.
a very interesting retelling of the great German film that was a ripoff of Dracula without any royalties paid. That is a really good flick. I encourage people to go see it if I know, well, they might not have seen it. It just came out. See Nosferatu, but Dune 2 was really up there as a really a good one.
Okay, now we get into the worst of the year, worst TV show or film of the year. For me, well, Pat.
Oh no, don't ask me first.
Got to. Go ahead.
The worst thing I've seen this year.
Yeah.
I just would say overall TV in general this year has been really flat for me. I'm not going to limit it to one thing. Everything has been kind of, it feels stale and retreaded. I mean, there's so many episode 2, next episode, next gen, whatever. I mean, I want something new. I mean, I feels like there's so much that was just formula. And I would just say the worst for me has been the direction that they've kind of pushed everything this, and I understand that everybody's trying to make money again. We're all trying to all these studios are trying to recoup losses. They're going for safe bets and stuff. I'm just like, but overall, I just have not been impressed with much of anything, this year. It's been pretty flat for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a maybe little bit controversial pick. I don't know. I got two really. Argyle. Oh my God. I was so disappointed in that movie because I love Matthew Vaughn. He did The Kingsman and he's done some amazing stuff. But this was just a ball of everything tossed into it, and it was just a mess. And the second one, I just have to say, was the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. That was some bullshit. You watch some 28-year-old dude beat up on a 56-year-old dude, and then just kind of like stopped at the end. I was like, this is just a money grab. I hope Tyson made $150 million for putting up with that stuff. But at least we got to look at his cheeks. It was very cheeky. There was some terribleness. I just was like, that was a fall of civilization. Of course, watching the election results was some BS too. But okay, David.
All right. Well, for me, and I doubt this is much of a surprise on your bingo cards, what I would say is the worst thing I've seen this year definitely was The Acolyte. Not only because I was so disappointed in it, but because it actively tried to kind of weaken and tear down the mythos of Star Wars, which is inherently a fairy tale, which is already an exaggerated kind of thing. So I was very disappointed in The Acolyte. Not the action figures, Hasbro. Thank you very much for those. But as a story, I'm so glad we are closing it when we are before it does any more damage. Yeah. So The Acolyte is the thing that I would say was the worst thing that I've seen.
Can I hop in with one more? Y'all not gonna like Skeleton Crew. I just cannot.
It's fine. Oh my God, it's fine.
The worst TV of Star Wars that I have been experiencing.
Oh, no way!
No.
Are you talking? Are we throwing the movies? Are we throwing
this.
movies in with this, or are we just talking TV?
It's
Because
torture for
we
me
can go
to
Last
watch
Jedi,
this mess.
Last Jedi, and
Oh,
that
I
was some
don't care.
absolute
I don't care.
dumpster fire.
Horrible.
No, not
No,
comparatively. Nope.
It's the worst
No.
series they put
Me and Dave
out
both
about
think
Star
you're wrong.
Wars.
So according to the map, that's
Absolutely.
2-1, saying it's not the worst.
No, I,
Okay, Pat, you're worst. Did we already do you? Okay.
We already did me, and I just,
Okay.
and
All
to be
right.
honest, and this
Worst?
just points out my point. Everybody's hating on the remakes and the reboots here again. Come up with something new.
Okay, so worst theatrical release you've seen this year. I'll start. Poor Things. That was some bull crap. That was some bull crap. Some anti-feminist mess, and was just the worst piece of crap to hit celluloid since I don't know what. It was just a big old pile of mess. I got a whole review on it. I read the book as well, and that did nobody any justice. And that director can eat a bag of you know what's. David, what is your worst movie this year?
Well, there could be one lower. I am going to go with The Fall Guy because it was just
we didn't watch it.
The only thing it did was slightly take the theme song from the show, and we talk about kind of standing on the shoulders, well, not of giants, but of mid-sized cars.
When did the $6 million man?
I mean, so I think this was a movie that lacked and was just it tried to be good, but it just wasn't for me. It was just a missing there. It was missing. So I'm going to put Fall Guy as my worst movie. I could go lower if something came to mind, but I'll go with a Fall Guy.
Pat, what was your worst?
Okay, now Fall Guy wasn't terrible. It was at least it was pretty. But I will say the worst for me, Borderlands.
Oh, okay.
God, that was terrible. I mean, there is a definite problem, and goes back to my original comment about how we can't come up with something new. Hey, some guy made a cool video game a couple years ago. Let's try to make a movie out of it and just piggyback on all the fans. I mean, you got Borderlands or Mortal Kombat or any of these other movies that people had a great love of, and then they think, oh, hey, we already got a fan base built. Let's just make some trash and throw it together and call it good. Perfect. Let's do this. Joker was not great either, but Borderlands was I 2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Ugh. All right, and for our final, what was the most surprising film or TV show that surprised you, either good or bad? Let's see. I'll go. For me, and I kept talking about it because my head got blown off almost every episode. Undead Unluck. Oh my gosh, it got me into anime. It was so interesting and weird and new. I'd never seen stuff like that before in my life. And I just thought this was something that I just really enjoyed watching. And then Deadpool and Wolverine. We haven't said that, but that surprised me with its heart. That you could see the true love and affection between those two. And that's what really the story is about. So, yeah. Undead, Unluck, and Hit Monkey, those anime, if y'all haven't seen them, go see them. David, what you think? Oh, no, is he frozen? Okay, Pat.
That's my turn. Jump the line. Yay. I really liked My Old Ass with Aubrey Plaza. It was surprisingly honest. And I came in looking for her to be her snarky self, and she was a little bit, but it all led to the it really was part of the story, and definitely made the story even better because of that. I mean, because it was so surprising, and to see her trying to tell her younger self that here's problems, this is going to be a good thing, this is going to be a bad thing. I mean, what would you tell yourself? It was one of those movies that made you walk out of the movie theater and keep thinking about the movie, like, what would I tell my 24-year-old or my 18-year-old self if I was in my 50s? What advice would I give myself, and how would I have given me the advice to make me listen to myself? Great concept. Like I said, surprising performances from a couple of the people in there that I was not expecting. And of course, Wolverine and Deadpool was, but again, it's using the same idea, but they went there with several things, which I was really happy about. So love that. But yeah, like I said, Opry Plaza did such a great job with that. So that was surprisingly great for me.
All right, David, glad to have you back.
I thank you. Before my connection goes away again, I guess for most surprising, probably While Love Lies Bleeding. It was graphically violent. But it was also a powerful, well done, just wild film. I don't like that much blood and gore and violence. You can see, the characters. It's a character-driven plot. There's no one necessarily that you're really rooting for per se. There's not a great protagonist in this, but the shades of gray and covered in shades of blood really kind of stand out. So if you're slowing down and driving in the middle of the desert and you see something kind of moving, yes, it might have been a dying body that was thrown out and just left for the buzzards. So stop at your own peril. You don't know what you pick up. But While Love Lies Bleeding was a pretty surprising film in that. Some really strong performances. Ed Harris among them. Just a big, good cast.
Yeah, that's our A24. They always come through. We might not get it, but you're always interested. It's always interesting. And so that is our year-end review. We hope that you have enjoyed being with us this year. We'll have some new different things coming up in the next year. Next week, of course, that we are going to watch Squid Games 2. I can't wait. It's amazing. I'm super excited. I'm player 456 and a half. That's my number. And then also Conclave on Peacock, the thriller about the papacy, and something really interesting I ran up on, not expecting, Yacht Rock, a documentary. The story about how the genre came to be, and then talking about the artist involved in making the music, which is also that much better to understand and know. So that's what we're coming back with next week. And Patrick, give us some happy new year advice for those out there.
Well, after talking about, what advice you would give your younger self, if you're drinking, don't drive. Yep. Number one, all of those of you that are coming up on the holidays, I know when you were young, all of us did stupid stuff, tried to avoid doing stupid stuff. Listen to older people because they know things, because they've done things. So that's the other little bit of advice. Other than that, everybody just go out and have a good time. I mean, live your life. I know there's a lot of darkness and pessimism about the state of things. Just you got to live your life. Remember, this too shall pass, and hopefully it'll pass quicker than we think. But just keep your head up, keep fighting, and have a great year. And don't just go out and have a good time, but don't drink and drive.
All right, David, give us some words of wisdom for 2025.
Oh, words of wisdom. save your money as best you can, and try to find something in this world every day that'll make you smile, and try to help somebody else smile too. It'll go a long, long way for you. Enjoy Life Day. Enjoy the year. Can't wait to talk to you in 2025, everybody. So long.
And if I could give you some advice, it is 2025 should be the year of release. Let go of those old habits, old grudges, old past experiences that are holding you back from being the best you can be. So it's time to let it all go. But don't let us go. Keep us in there for PJama Life. We'll see you next year. Take